I did the video on insulin resistance and how like diabetes is not and it's not a food issue, it's not a sugar issue, it's an insulin issue, and that you have to heal the cell. And this comment is the most common one that is coming up in that. First, I did a webinar. And if you were able to attend the webinar, you now know basically what you need to do. Second, I can do the webinar again if there's enough interest. But here's the deal. Someone else in the comments pointed out also that it's not about the food. It's about you. It's about your cells. It's about healing from within. And that's how you fix it. And she even put that like her specific genetic needs, and I see people like this occasionally when I run their genetics in my programs, require higher carbohydrates, lower protein, and they require a moderate amount of fiber. So her meal plans are going to look different than mine because my genetics require higher protein, low to moderate fat, low carbohydrates in order to stay healthy. So each person, the food is different. And I won't know that unless I run your specific genetics. What I can do is give you the basics, and I can help you understand the science behind it and help you understand what you can do to change what's happening right now. But you still won't be able to take that generalized advice and make yourself perfect, because that generalized advice is the generalized advice. It's like everything else I've been saying on this app since 2021. It's all there already. You just have to go back and watch the content. So if you want to go watch that content, click on the picture, go to my profile, and start binge watching the oldest videos. The oldest ones. Because my whole program is on this app for free. You just have to put the work in. The problem with diabetes type 2 is not a sugar issue. It's not a carbohydrate issue. It's not a food issue. It's a cellular health issue. And the way to fix each individual person is different because you and I don't look the same. We didn't grow up in the same environment. We don't have the same level of exposure to different things throughout our lives. And we don't have the same events that have happened in our lives. And I can even say it from this point to try and like push it further. My sister and I are 16 months apart. And then I have a brother who's 2 years and 2 months younger than me. My sister has had terrible vision almost all of her life. My brother has had eczema and psoriasis his entire life. I've never had any of that. Never any of it. My mom has a bunch of autoimmune disorders. My grandma has an autoimmune disorder. I don't have any of that. My sister and I grew up in the same house about the same time. She waited until she was in her mid-40s to develop a single type of cancer. I developed a cancer when I was in my 20s for the first time. Our growing up in the same house with the same toxic load, same toxic burden, didn't mean the same thing for the health of our cells. It was different for each one of us because genetically, she and I are similar. We are not the same. My brother and I are similar, but we are not the same. He was very sick as a young kiddo. I was not the same kind of sickness that he was. So his eczema and psoriasis makes sense when you look at everything his body went through at a very young age, like younger than age 3. We grew up in the same household, in the same city, in the same, quote, environment, but his health is way different than mine. And my sister and I, we look enough alike that people often ask if we are twins. So people would assume we would go through the same things, but we don't. So healing what was going on with my sister looked different than healing what was going on for me. In fact, I took my sister through my program and she totally killed it, excelled at it. Like, we did it right before her wedding, and she was like the most stunning bride ever. I went through and did the program differently than her because my genetics required it and got great results. But when I was doing it like I did it for her, it didn't work for me because my genetics, my epigenetics, the part that I can impact, were not the same as what was going on in her body, and I had to make adjustments for that. So you want all the answers, but I can't give you all the answers because I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about your genetics. I don't know anything about your health history. And I can't give that specific of advice online. Now, if you were a client and I was looking at your blood work and I was looking at your genetics and I was looking at your full history, different story. If you're like Stephanie and you want me to redo the webinar on insulin resistance and how to solve it from a general perspective and how to heal the cell from a general perspective, comment webinar below. If we get over 200 of those, I'll redo the webinar.